Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today is my 5th installment of my Cityscape Chronicles Tokyo edition. So if you guys are interested in seeing what I do today in Japan, then please keep watching. So we're going to be starting the vlog off with eating breakfast. So we're going to be starting things off with this 7-Eleven pudding cup, but this wasn't just any pudding cup. This was a Sakura pudding cup, and I was so excited because it was pink, and you guys already know I love pink, so I had to show the vlog. Next for breakfast, we are going to be trying this dango, and if you guys don't know, dango is basically rice flour that they turn into like a little dumpling ball, and you can just eat it. So this was actually a Sakura flavored dango, and I was super excited to try this. They had a little Sakura flower on top of it. So if you like floral flavors, you might like this. Hey guys, so today is a new day in Tokyo, and we are on the hunt to get some ramen today, and we're gonna be going to Gentle Monster, this sunglasses store. So excited. We're in Roppongi right now because we are gonna be going to get some ramen at this place called Ippudo. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good. So without further ado, let's go get some ramen. As we were walking to our next destination, we ended up stumbling across another section of sakura trees. We really wanted to see some sakura flowers today because the flowers were supposed to be in full bloom today at this point in the sakura season. And you guys, it literally was perfect. The flowers were so beautiful. So take a look at all the sakura trees that we ended up finding because we found a lot. This sakura tree section was really fun because it was right next to this giant art museum. So we ended up finding a bunch of sakura trees like in this little alleyway, and it was just so beautiful. They were at full bloom. There were just so many petals falling everywhere. I literally felt like I was in Sailor Moon. I was so excited. So take a look at all these really pretty sakura trees because it was beautiful. So once we're done looking at all the cherry blossoms, we ended up stumbling across this Fuji camera store, and I was so excited because I actually had a Fuji film camera in my purse, so you already knew I had to go in. So you walk in and they had all the Instax cameras on display, which I thought was so awesome because like you go to Target and they only have like a couple in stock, but here they had literally every single one, and they had some that I had never seen before. They had these really cute little tiny Instax cameras that I thought were so cute. Once I was done looking at all the Fuji cameras, we were almost at our lunch destination, and our lunch destination was Ippudo. This is a specialty ramen shop, and I'm so excited to go here, so let's go ahead and go here together. As we were walking up to the ramen shop, there was a little bit of a line, and if there's a line, then you probably know that it's gonna be good. While we were waiting in line, I just wanted to show you guys the exterior of this ramen shop because it was so cute. They had this really cute lantern hanging up, they had some of their spices on display, and then they also had this really cute floor mat that actually said thank you, so I thought that was so cute. So when you walk into the ramen shop, there were actually only counter seats, which I thought was really cool. So the menu was pretty small. They had 3 options for ramen, and then they also had some side dishes like this rice with egg, and then they also had some gyoza, which I was so excited to try because I didn't have any yet on this trip yet, so I was pumped. So they actually give you a couple different condiments at your table. They ended up giving us some pepper, and they also gave us this sesame seed grinder, which was so cool. Like, I need one of these in my house. And then they also gave us some different sauces for your ramen, like this spicy oil. And then they also gave you your own little water jug, which I love. I feel like this is very much like cocoa curry, and if you know, you know. I was really thirsty today, so I was loving this water. Once I was done drinking my water, they gave us our food, and here is the ramen. It looks so good, you guys. I ended up getting the Takansu ramen. This is just like a classic ramen. So I ended up getting all the fixings for this ramen. I ended up getting the nori sheets with the pork belly chashu, and then I also got the egg, which the egg is my favorite part, and I also got my noodles al dente. I like when they're a little bit crunchy, so I got mine extra firm. I also got this rice with egg on top, and this is actually like my favorite. I love this. Their eggs in Japan are just unmatched. Look at this jiggly egg. Like, I cannot wait to mix this together. I decided to put some of those sesame seeds on top of my rice, so take a look at this sesame seed grinder in action because I'm shook. Okay, every time I say shook in this video, take a shot. I then decided to whip out my Fuji film camera and take a picture of my food because it was looking pretty iconic. Once I was done mixing my egg into the rice, it was time to taste it. And you guys, it tasted so good. I'm literally wishing for this right now. So let's go ahead and move on to the star of the show. And the star of the show today is the ramen. And you guys, it was so good. The noodles were cooked to perfection. They weren't too soft. They were the perfect texture. The meat in the ramen was so juicy. The broth was so good. It was a very umami mixed with like this creaminess. It was just perfection. Moving on to my favorite part of ramen, and that's the egg. The egg in this ramen was so amazing. The yolk is cooked to perfection. I think I'm just a fan of egg. The best thing to do when you're eating the ramen is to get some of the broth in your spoon and then kind of put your noodles in it and then just put it all in your mouth, and it's just a party in your mouth. Flavor Town has arrived. Now moving on to the gyoza, it was perfectly cooked, super crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside, and the meat on the side was extra juicy. And then you dip it in the sauce, and it's just great. And for my fellow Americans who don't know what gyoza is, they're basically pot stickers. And just like that, we are done with our lunch, and we are gonna be going on another journey to go on the hunt for some more Sakura flowers. So we ended up finding another park that had a really nice viewing area of the cherry blossoms. They had this really nice like kind of like roadway, and then there was like a bridge that went over it that just was like encapsulated with cherry blossom trees. Side note, you like couldn't take pictures there or anything. Like you actually had to just like walk across the bridge because they had police there directing traffic. So I was like, question mark, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to do some sneaky vlogging for you guys. After we were looking at the cherry blossoms, we decided to go to this cafe called Kitsune Cafe, which means fox cafe. Kitsune means fox, and I was super excited to go to this cafe because I saw it on TikTok and I was like, I'm going. So as you can see, the outside was super cute. I love checkerboard, like I'm a Vans kind of person, so I always get checkerboard Vans. So when I saw that the outside had green and white checkerboard, I was shook. So there was actually a line to get in, but while we were waiting in line, they gave you a menu to look at so that when you get in, you are ready to order. So the menu has a bunch of drinks, a bunch of snacks, a bunch of desserts, like we're ready. When we got into the shop, it was super pretty. We got to sit by the window, which I'm down for because I love natural light. So here's the interior of the shop. Everything was pretty sleek, modern. White and green were like their main color combos mixed with black. They had a bunch of plants everywhere, which I thought was a nice little touch. Again, bringing in the green to this little cafe, which is kind of weird because their name is Kitsune, which is fox, so you'd think it would be orange. But nope, they did green. Let's move on to the merch, because of course they have merch. They had a bunch of their coffee for sale, as well as some other miscellaneous items like this pink candle that had a really nice floral smell to it. They also had a bunch of little cookies on display that you could buy. They also had some croissants for sale, as well as some of their coffee in little instant version, which I think is awesome because like sometimes you don't know if you're gonna like the coffee, so you don't want to buy a whole bag, but here they sold them individually, which was so nice. Moving on to the desserts that they had for sale, they had so many and they were like perfectly displayed. Like I wanted to try them all. Like take a look at this mousse. It looks so aesthetic. Like I want to keep it. Like if it was a keychain, you guys, oh my god, I would buy it. All right guys, are you ready to see what we ordered? Because I ordered a couple things. So the first thing that I ordered was their strawberry latte. This was actually not a latte at all. I don't know what I'm saying. There was no coffee in it. It was just like strawberry puree with this like, it wasn't milk, it was like a yogurt consistency kind of, and then you mix it all together and it was actually pretty good. It was kind of tangy with the sweetness of the strawberry. It was refreshing and nice. I liked it. So the next thing that we got was their strawberry matcha drink, and this one was actually better than the strawberry one in my opinion. The matcha to milk ratio was pretty good. It tasted pretty strong, so I feel like this was a good matcha. Next on our list is this strawberry cake. This is just a classic strawberry cake that I feel like they have in a lot of Japanese establishments slash kabinis. This cake was so aesthetic, you guys. It was light and fluffy, but had the creaminess of the whipped cream mixed with the strawberries, mixed with the cake was just perfection. If I had to rate this, I would give it a 10 out of 10 stars. All right, guys, buckle up, put your seatbelts on, because we're about to go on a ride. Drum roll, please. We're going to be going to Gentle Monster. Now, if you know that this is a very popular, trendy brand that is kind of really popular right now. They have really cool sunglasses / regular glasses, and I was just so excited because they're known for their shops and the interior of the shops, because it's basically an art museum. So let's go ahead and check out this shop together. So as you can see, the shop is super crowded. Like, there was a super long line. I basically had to wait like an hour to get in, but like I was waiting no matter what. Here's a little sneak peek of the inside of the store. As you can see, they have a bunch of like robots everywhere. Once we were done waiting an hour in line, we were finally ready to go in. Guys, we just made it to Gentle Monster, and it is a look, like it's a bop. Look at this, you guys. He's looking right at me. So I don't know how they made these robotic little heads, but these were so cool, you guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever seen anything like this, because I was shook. The craftsmanship of everything in this store was just A+. Like, the attention to detail to these faces were like crazy. Like, I was on a movie set. Like, we were walking into iRobot right now. Like, Elon Musk is shaking right now. Enough with the robot heads. Time to move on to the actual products that they were selling. They had so many different kinds of sunglasses and glasses. I feel like these sunglasses are very much like 90s theme. Basically, they're like 90s, 2000s gas station sunglasses. Literally, I feel like that's what they're going for. You could have went to Circle K or something in America in the 90s and got these glasses for like $10, but now, since it's 2024 version, they're gonna be like $500. One of the sunglasses that caught my eye were these pink sunglasses. I thought these were so cool. The lenses really caught me the most. It would be so fun to wear these and then everything would be pink. Then I found some other sunglasses that really caught my eye, because I was like, these are probably the only sunglasses that I would like realistically probably wear. These were pretty cute, but I wasn't like in love, so I didn't get them. Moving on to some more iRobot stuff, and they actually had these really crazy looking robots that were like interacting with each other. Not really sure what was going on because I can't speak robot. Let me know in the comments down below what your interpretation of this little dance is. Let me know. One thing that I would like to say about this shop is that the music was a big portion of the feeling of the store. The music was very loud, like it was like the same song over and over again, but I thought it was a nice little touch, because sometimes people just don't think about the music, but the sound is like a big part of art. Like, you can literally persuade somebody into a whole different feeling with the music. So then right next to the iRobot robot, they had another display of a bunch of glasses and sunglasses. They had these really crazy giant sunglasses that were like almost like a ski mask type of look, and I was like, wow, these are wild. So here's a little poster that they had on the wall with the model wearing the funny little ski goggles sunglasses. She's looking so cool though. Moving on to some more glasses, they had these really cute regular glasses, and then I found these other sunglasses that were giving gas station vibes from the 90s again. So Gentle Monster actually had 2 floors to the store, so let's go ahead and go up to the second floor. As I was making my way to go upstairs, I found some more glasses on display. I love the little display table that they had. So once we made it upstairs, I was greeted by King Kong hanging out in the Gentle Monster store, and he was giant, you guys. He was taking up a lot of space. Here's a close-up of King Kong. He's just hanging out and waiting for Godzilla to show up. Not only did they have King Kong there, but they had a bunch of other sculptural art pieces as well. Like, they had a bunch of sparkle sculptures like on the ground. Moving on to the next sunglasses that really caught my eye were these really cute silver glasses with these pink lenses. I thought this was such a cool combo. The next item that really caught my eye were these sour candy textured glasses. These were a look. Like, you guys, if you were wearing these, people would definitely be like, yo, where'd you get your glasses from? Next on our list were these other pink glasses, and these ones were so cute. They were kind of squishy. These ones really remind me of like Powerpuff Girls. These were a bop. Then I found another version of those black sunglasses that I tried on, but these ones were kind of like a grayish blue color. Of course, I had to try them on for you guys. Let me know if you think I should have got them. Then I found another display of regular glasses, and I found these really cute gold ones that had a star on the side of it, but I didn't like the shape. It was giving Harry Potter, and I was like, I'm not a fan. Then I had to show you guys another poster that they had on the wall. This model's skin was literally glowing. It looked so perfect. So then after that, we were basically done with the upstairs, and it was time to leave the store. But before leaving the store, I just had to say bye to my homies, my iRobots in the front, because I was like, bye guys, you are the coolest thing I've seen in my entire life. So with that being said, we were done with Gentle Monster. If I had to rate the Gentle Monster store, I would give it 100 out of 10 points because it was so cool. Literally the coolest store I've ever been to in my entire life. I was shook. It was a masterpiece. I want to give the Gentle Monster person a Grammy. They deserve it. It was perfect. I would highly recommend you going to a pop-up Gentle Monster store if you can. And Gentle Monster, if you're watching this, you really did a great job, and I would love to get on the PR list. So once we're done with Gentle Monster, we ended up finding this shrine that was pretty close to the Gentle Monster store. Basically, it was just a typical shrine, but we had to go in. I was greeted by this cute little fox who is the little god of this little shrine, and he was so cute, you guys. So as you can see, there was a little station where you could wash your hands and cleanse yourself, but it actually wasn't working, but you typically have to cleanse yourself before going into the shrine. So basically what you do is you have to donate some money to the god that is in this shrine. So you put your money in, and then you can ring this bell, and when you ring the bell, you can pray for whatever you want. So once we were done making our wishes at the shrine, we decided to go to the Shibuya Parko Mall because we wanted to go to the Shibuya Pokemon Center plus the Nintendo store. So let's see what they got. So we ended up going to the Nintendo store first, and you guys, it was so crowded. I don't know what was going on this day, but it was packed. I went straight to the Animal Crossing section. Guys, they had so much Animal Crossing stationery. I was shook. Right off the bat, I found these super cute pens as well as these super cute little stickers. Immediately mine. I then found some Animal Crossing tape. I had to put them in the cart. The next thing that I found was a household product, and this was a water boiler. Some more household items that I found were these super cute Animal Crossing slippers, literally adorable. They also had this Animal Crossing cup coaster for your table that I thought was really cute. Here is another washi tape that I found. This one was pink and green, and I was like, so cute. Then I found, you guessed it, a keychain. Here is another pen that I found. It was actually a pencil. I love mechanical pencils. They just really get me. Then to my surprise, I found another stationery section of just Animal Crossing stationery. And on top of the stationery section, they also had more washi tape on display, and I was like, mine, mine, mine. I then came across another section for home goods. I found the cutest little pot known to man. Like, this was so cute to do like cooking in. This wins Cooking Pan Award of the Year. This fruit cup really caught my eye. Then I found this really cool Dodo airline passport holder that I had to show the vlog. Now we're gonna segue into some Zelda material because I love The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, literally so good, Breath of the Wild, let's go. I ended up running into Link at the Nintendo store, and I was shook because I was like, girl, to be honest, Link was really short. I'm a little confused, question mark. They had a nice little display of items for Zelda that I had to show the vlog, like this little pouch that you could put literally anything in, but it was supposed to be for rubies. They also had a really cute Zelda tie that I thought was actually pretty fun. The Nintendo store was selling some really cool Zelda pins as well that I thought were really cool, like they had the little heart container. I then found some keychains. This Moo Moo Milk really caught my eye because I was like, I'm getting this. I then came across some Kikaru seeds, and I was like, yoo-hoo! As we were leaving the store, I then ran into Zelda. She was just hanging out on the little window, which I thought was really cool. I also found Ganondorf as well. He was just hanging out by Zelda, obviously, because he's trying to steal her. So overall, if I had to rate the Nintendo store, I would give it a 7 out of 10 stars because it was super crowded this day. But overall, I thought it was a fun experience, and I would still recommend it to people that are going to Japan/Tokyo. Now moving on to the Pokemon Center, and I was so excited. I was actually shocked to find Mewtwo hanging out in the front of the store because I was not expecting that, but he is just hanging out in his little tube, like sleeping. It was so realistic. They even had like the bubbles going up and everything. Like, it was so cool. I was shook. So when I was in Japan, they were really advertising this duck Pokemon. He was definitely like the star of the show for this season. Then of course I had to show you some more of the spring collection that they had going on. This is my favorite part of the Pokemon store was the spring section because it's just so adorable. This fuzzy springtime, Easter time Pikachu really caught my eye. I found this cute little duck Pokemon again. He was just hanging out in the little buckets, and they actually had the evolution of the original duck Pokemon. Then I found this display of the same duck Pokemon, and it was a really big display. They had so many different items. Then I found this little set of action figures of him sitting in a puddle. And just like that, we are done with the Pokemon Center in Shibuya Parco Mall. I would say it was way smaller than the Sunshine City one, but if you're in the area, I would recommend going to this one since you're already in the area. But I wouldn't say that it was like the best one that I went to. If I had to rate this Pokemon Center, I would give it a 5 out of 10 stars. Just because it was really crowded and it was kind of small. But if you're in the Shibuya area, I would still recommend it to you guys. As we were exploring Shibuya, we ended up coming across this photoism photo booth, kind of like Perdicura. I was shook because they had a IVE collaboration going on, and if you guys don't know, I love IVE. So let's go ahead and go in and do the IVE photoism. So you walk in and there's 2 photo booths that you can use, and I actually had to get change out of the money machine. So this was actually a really expensive photo booth. It was $15. This better come out great. So as you can see, the interior of this store was really cute. It was all white, but they had a bunch of mirrors everywhere so you could like check your makeup, fix your hair, but they also had some props that you could use as well if you want to wear like a headband, if you're going with a group of friends. But I really liked these circular mirrors that they had everywhere. I thought they were like a nice touch. So once you get into the photo booth, it's very similar to Perdicura. So as you can see, I picked the IVE section. So for my photo card, I decided to pick Wan Young. So let's go ahead and pose with Wan Young. As you can see, I did a bunch of different poses with Wan Young. I tried to match her. All right, guys, here are my final little photo strips. They look so cute. I'm so excited to have this forever. I'm gonna put it on my fridge, but they're so cute, you guys. So overall, I really liked this photo booth. I thought it was really fun. Like, I didn't see any Perdicuras that had any collaborations with K-pop stars. So I'm really happy that I stumbled across this, and I just love IVE. Once we're done at the photoism, it was time to make our way to another shopping area, and we are actually going to be going to Shibuya 109. So let's go ahead and see what Shibuya 109 has to offer. So if you guys don't know, Shibuya 109 is an iconic fashion mall. They have so many clothing stores in this mall. You guys have to go if you're into fashion, especially J fashion. So right when I walked into Shibuya 109, I was greeted by minions, so that's gotta be a good sign. Right when you walk in, they have a list of all the shops that they have in the store, and I'm gonna be going to a select few. So once I figured out which ones I wanted to go to, it was time to go up the escalator. This escalator was pimped out, you guys. Like, it was so colorful. I loved it. So I took the escalator up to the 6th floor because we ended up going to Ink Rouge first. It was pretty small compared to the other Ink Rouge in La Ferrette. So I ended up finding this really cute gingham set piece that I thought was so cute. This would be so perfect to wear in the springtime / summertime. They also had this really pretty white ruffle frilly dress on display that I had to show the vlog. I just love the overall aesthetic of Ink Rouge. I feel like it's so pretty, so girly. They had this really cute mirror for when you're trying on the clothes that I just had to show you guys. Then I found this super cool gingham style kind of outfit, but this one was like red plaid, and I was living for this. So overall, I felt like this Ink Rouge was kind of small, and they kind of had just the same things that I saw at the other Ink Rouge at La Ferrette. Moving on to the next store, and the next store is Liz Lisa, and if you know about J fashion, then you definitely know about this store. It's just like a super pretty, hyper feminine, girly J fashion brand. So let's see what they got. Coming in clutch, the first thing that I found was this denim colored dress. This was so pretty. I loved the gold detailing on it. Then I found this really pretty cardigan that had really pretty buttons, and the frills on it were perfection. After that, I ended up coming across another dress. This dress was so pretty. I loved how it was like a Peter Pan collar dress. Then I found this top that was really drawing me in because, again, the collar on these tops are just so pretty. Liz Lisa also had a bunch of really cute accessories like these hair bows. I feel like these hair bows could be used on your clothes as well, like it was like interchangeable. So I really love that. After we were done looking at Liz Lisa, I found this other store called Honey Cinnamon, and this store was a bop. So I would say Honey Cinnamon was pretty similar to Ink Rouge in style type, but they did have different items for sale, obviously. That being said, the first thing that caught my eye was this white cardigan. I really love how they have a really frilly collar and then the bows, but they also had pearl detailing, which really sucked me in. So during this time when I was in Japan, gingham was going strong in these J-fashion clothing stores. So of course they had some gingham outfits as well on display, which I thought were again adorable. So with that being said, I did end up getting a couple things from Honey Cinnamon. Here's my little bag. It was so cute. So the next store that we came across was this store called Rojita. This was like more of like kind of like an emo J-fashion brand because they were selling a lot of clothes that had black incorporated. The first thing that caught my eye were these two dresses that they had on display. They were so cute. I just loved all the buttons on them. So the next clothing item that caught my eye was this really pretty kind of like two-piece set that had a really pretty blue button-up shirt with hearts all over it, and then the white skirt that went with it was just so pretty. I would definitely wear this out. And then I was just walking around, and I'm not really sure what store this was in, but they had a Sanrio collab, and they had a bunch of wallets that were Sanrio. I also really enjoyed this quilted kind of leather wallet. I thought this was super pretty. On to the next store, we ended up going to another clothing shop called Secret Honey. This is different than Cinnamon Honey, so don't get it twisted. This store had, again, a lot of different dresses. The dresses that they had on display were really getting to me. This blue dress in particular was super beautiful. I loved the ruffling detailing on the center of the dress. I thought that was so pretty. This black dress that they had was so nice. I wish I would have got it. After I was done browsing at Secret Honey, I ended up coming across this other store called E-Pine ? Not really sure, but they had so many cute little outfits and little accessories in this store. They ended up having these really cute satin furry purses, and I was in love immediately right when I saw it. This would be the star of the show on your outfit if you were wearing this purse, and I was in love. They also randomly had like a collaboration with Emily in Paris, and they had this shirt that said "we," but side note, I call my dog "we" because my dog is named Ollie. Then last but not least, I ended up finding another store that had a bunch of kind of like gothic Lolita fashion, and these two black dresses were really catching my eye, and I had to show the vlog. Once we were done shopping for clothes, we ended up coming across this Ghostbusters collab cafe that they had going on in the top of Shibuya 109, and obviously we had to check it out. So here's the menu. They had a lot of different things on the menu. They had some food. It was mainly like snacks, but they had a bunch of drinks, but they also had this squishy marshmallow guy that I had to squish. So obviously we had to get a drink from the Ghostbusters store. So we ended up getting this mint chocolate drink, and it was very liquidy, and I actually spilled it all over the floor, and the poor worker had to come and clean it up and then make us a new drink, and I felt so bad. But yeah, the drink was good. So once we were done drinking our drink and harassing the worker, we were officially done with Shibuya 109, and we were really hungry at this point. It was basically dinner time, and guess what, guys? We're going for ramen round 2. So we ended up getting Ichiran ramen for dinner. Side note, we had a lot of trouble this night getting food. It was Saturday night in Shibuya, and it was around 10 o'clock at night, and every single place that we went to try to sit down and eat at didn't let us come in. I don't know if that was because we're foreigners or what, but like everybody didn't let us into the restaurant. So this particular Ichiran was pretty crowded. There was a big line outside, and honestly, it was a bunch of tourists. Right off the bat, I'm like, all right, I don't know if I'm gonna recommend this because it took too long to get our dinner and everything. But with that being said, this is what the outside of the little restaurant looked like. It was all red. Definitely can't miss it. You'll see it right away. Right when you walk in, you're greeted with the giant Ichiran logo, and then you go downstairs. That's where you're gonna order all your food. They have like a vending machine type kind of deal going on. So you just press the button, you get your little ticket, give it to the worker, and then they make your food for you. Ichiran Ramen is actually a place to go if you're just a solo traveler, because all of their seating arrangements is for one person. They're like little stalls. So I ended up getting number 27, and I went to my spot, and this is what my spot looks like. So once you sit down at your little spot, there's like a little window for the workers to bring you your food, right? And on the side, you have your little drink section so that you can have water and your cup. Basically, everything's just at your table for you. Whatever you need, they already have it there. But not only did I get some water, I also got a beer because I really wanted to try drinking some beer with the ramen. So I feel like that's like a really good choice for like a good flavor combo. combo. And then just like that, all my food was delivered. And this is my spread. I ended up getting the Takatsu ramen with no spice on it because I wasn't feeling spicy that night. But then I also got an egg on the side because when you get ramen, you basically have to have an egg. I feel like that's just like you have to get it. And then I also got a side of rice. The rice was just your typical white rice, nothing special. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 stars. The beer was tasting real good tonight. It tasted sort of like Miller Lite. I think it was Sakura beer. I'm not really sure. But then I also got my noodles al dente because I like them less cooked because it's just the perfect texture when you eat it. It was tasting pretty good. It tasted very much like pork. It wasn't as good as Ippudo earlier in the day, but it was still pretty good. Like, I would recommend going here if you're in the area / if there's not a line, like, go ahead, try it. Would I get it again? I'm not really sure. For some reason, I didn't really like the taste of the broth, and I feel like the broth is like the main thing in ramen. So if you don't like the broth, then it's probably not going to be that good. So with that being said, I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 10 stars. Yeah, guys, I don't know if I would recommend Ichiran Ramen. Ichiran Ramen wasn't hitting for me. But with that being said, we were off to go back to our hotel. I found something crazy on the wall on the way home in the subway, and it was an Eyelet advertisement for their song called Magnetic, and I was so shook because they were literally advertising this everywhere in Japan when I was there. Like, they were debuting when I was in Japan. So this song is so special to me. When you click the QR code on your phone, it takes you to their Magnetic music video. How cool is that? So with that being said, that basically concludes this day in Japan. We did so much stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you liked going to Shibuya 109, going to all the malls. Basically, we did shopping on shopping on shopping today. It was so fun. I loved it. I hope you guys liked it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!